Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I know that 2016 ended quite a while ago, but this video idea came to me recently. If you guys have been on my channel for a while, then you guys will know that I love to read. I love getting into a new series. I love finding really cool books. I thought that it would be good to share with you guys my favourite book picks of 2016 and like the top ones that I would recommend. Books that I'm about to recommend are just the ones that I have read in 2016. So obviously there are other books that I love as well, but if I haven't read them in 2016 then I can't include them in this video. So after that very long introduction, let's jump into the video. So the first book that I would highly recommend is actually part of a series. This is going to be no surprise to any of you guys if you've watched some of my favourites videos in the past. And a lot of these books will have been in like my favourites videos. The Left Behind series by Jenkins and Tim LaHaye. I love this series. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't finished the series. I have 2 books left. So basically what happens is a whole bunch of people on the earth just randomly disappear and no one really knows why. This series here follows Estelle and Aaron Williams, that's his full name, but everyone just refers to him as Buck in the book. It follows their tales as they try and figure out what is happening, where everyone is, how to get them back. And there is 13 books in this series, and as you progress through them you get more people's points of views, and they are so addictive. They are very action packed. There's like a whole lot of plot twists as well, and it's such a good series, and I feel like not a lot of people know about this series. So if you haven't checked out this series, then please go and check it out, because it is one of my all-time favourite series. And that is a huge claim to make, and me and my best friend Rachel are both hooked on these books. So this one is the first book in the series. So yeah, the first one's just called Left Behind. The second book that I want to talk about is actually one that I don't have on me, but I have mentioned it in a previous favourites. And that is the book Every Day by David Levithan. So I'll insert a picture of the cover now. Basically, there is a being called A, and I refer to him as he because it's so much easier. And he inhabits human bodies. He's not out to kill you, he's not trying to hurt you, he's not trying to take over the world or any of that. That's just his normal life for him. So the person that he is day to day changes, so he can change between being a boy and a girl. So the age that he is sort of similar to how long he has been existing. So if he's been existing 16 years, he can only inhabit 16-year-olds. And basically what happens is you can't remember anything that happens the day before unless you write it down. And then on one of his days that he inhabits a human's body, he falls for a girl called Rhiannon. Sort of just follows his story on how he tries to contact Rhiannon and keep in touch with her, and it has all these plot twists and stuff, but it is a really good book. It gets into the action quite fast. You don't have to be left waiting, and if you like a good romance, that is one to read. But it is one of my favourite all-time books. And from reading the back and like starting it, it's kind of not what you would typically expect this type of book to be. Like, it's a romance, but seeing as A is like a being and an alien, normally they're like really scary, but this one isn't, which I really like. The next book that I want to talk about is this one here, and this is Did I Mention I Love You by Estelle Maskame. So I've raved about this in like my first ever favourites video, but this again is another really good romance book. So basically it just follows this girl called Eden, and she goes to spend the summer at her dad's house, and basically she falls for a guy that she can't have. The guy is hiding this big secret, and it just sort of follows like their friendship and their like relationship. From what I remember, it was quite funny as well, and a few like plot twists as well. And again, Did I Mention I Love You is one of my all-time favourite books. The next book that I want to talk about is this one here, and this is All the Bright Places by Niven. This one was actually given to me by my best friend Rachel, so thank you so much. And again, this one is one of my all-time favourite books. So it follows the story of Violet and Theodore Finch, and they meet on top of the school's bell tower, and basically they're not really that happy with their lives. And it sort of touches on like mental illnesses and stuff, but it just follows Violet and Theodore and how they become friends, and then like follows their little relationship, and it is really, really cute. It gets into it quite fast, but I will warn you, if you are sentimental, you will need a whole box of tissues when you read this book. And I'm not kidding when I say a whole box, because this book made me cry for 3 hours straight. Like, that might put some people off, like, oh, I don't want to cry for 3 hours. Why would I read a book that's going to make me cry? The way that she has created these characters and her writing style, it's so good. Just a really, really cute, like, romance book. So if you like romance and you haven't read this, then please go and read this. The next book that I want to talk about is Username Evie by Sugg. And I will put the cover of this on the screen now. So again, talked about this in my first ever favourites video. Sugg, if you don't know, is a YouTuber. He goes by the name of Thatcher Joe, and he recently released a book called Username Evie. It is very different from the other style of books that I'm talking about. So all of the other books in this video are like young adult fiction, like novels. Sugg's Username Evie is a comic book, and normally I don't really get into comic books, but I really, really enjoyed that one. But basically it just follows her, and she's not very happy. She's like an outcast at her school, but her dad has created this like virtual reality world online that she can escape into, and then stuff goes wrong in that world, and she has to find her confidence and find her inner strength, I guess, as well, to fix the things that are going wrong there, which then she can take from that world into her real life and just be a lot more happier. And the graphics are very, very good in this comic book. Again, it's a comic book, so it won't take you very long to read. Like, I think I read it in like an hour and a half or something. The next book, again, is one that I currently don't have on me because I actually saw my friend Cherish at the library, and I was going through the shelves and picking out the good ones, and that was one that I picked out for her. So she has it at the moment, and that is called Graphene Moon by Cath, Crowley, or Crowley depending how you say it. Again, I will leave the cover on the screen now. So Graphene Moon follows the story of Lucy, and she has a massive thing for this guy called Shadow, and Shadow basically is a graffiti artist. So he goes at night when it's real dark, and the graffiti that he does isn't offensive. It's like really inspiring pictures with really inspiring quotes, and yeah, he's a really, really good artist, and Lucy, being an artist herself, is drawn to him. And then there's a guy in a group who supposedly knows where to find him. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but she goes out, not like goes out, but she just hangs out with him, and they go on this quest to try and find this shadow guy. And it's just, again, a really, really cute romance novel. And that book was actually recommended to me by my friend Shosh. And again, Shosh has really, really good taste when it comes to books, games, movies and music and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, she read it, she loved it, told me to read it, said that I would love it. I read it and I loved it, and she was right. So if you haven't read Graphene Moon already, then please go and check it out. And okay, the next book that I want to talk about, again, is one that I unfortunately don't have on me, and that is the book Black Ice by Becca Fitzpatrick. And I will insert a cover of that on the screen now. I'm not gonna lie, when I first read like I think it's like the little prologue bit in there, I was freaked out, something fierce. I read the first 2 chapters, put it down, thought it was really good, but thought it was gonna freak me out because it wasn't normally the type of book that I read. I left it for a little bit, and then the next day I left like 3 chapters up until the end because I wanted to get into it and just get past the initial couple of chapters, which are by like far the worst chapters in the book. I mean, if you love thrillers and you love like murder mysteries and stuff, you'll love the first few chapters. If you're like me and you're kind of like queasy and you're like, oh, like some thrillers I can handle, some I can't, and murders, then yeah, just try and get past the first few chapters and you'll love it, trust me. It's a thriller. The main girl in the book is called Brit, and she is planning a holiday with her best friend Kody up in like the mountains in the snow, and unfortunately they get snowed in, so they're like wandering around trying to find some help because obviously they are not at their desired destination place. And so they come across a cabin that holds two guys called Mason and Sean, and it gets very, very intense, very, very fast. But the two guys that are in the woods that they come across for help take them hostage, and they are lost themselves. The only way that Brit and Kody can get out alive is if they direct these two guys called Mason and Sean off the mountain themselves. And the reason that Brit wants to get off is so that she can tell Calvin, who I believe is Kody's brother, her feelings for him, because she's had feelings for him for the longest amount of time. And then yeah, stuff goes down when they're trying to escape. There's stuff that happens between Sean and Kody, stuff that happens between Mason and Brit, and then there's a massive, massive plot twist at the end that involves Calvin. It's scary, it's intense, but it is so, so good. Again, would highly, highly recommend it 100%. The next book that I want to talk about is this one here, and this is Every Breath by Marney. Again, I've talked about this in a favourites video, and this book is part of a trilogy. I have the next book up there called Every Word, and the last book is called Every Move, and it just follows these two friends called Rachel Watts and James Mycroft, and they have like been friends growing up, and then one night they're hanging out and they find their friend has been murdered. And seeing as James is really like into forensics, and he is trying to solve the mystery on who killed his friend, and Rachel goes along to help him out. Again, it gets into the action quite fast. There is a lot of plot twists and like twists and turns. It keeps your heart racing. It's like when things seem fine, there's another plot twist that's thrown in and things aren't fine, as well as like the quest on who has murdered their friend. It also focuses on James and Rachel's friendship. It's into the action quite fast, so you don't have to be kept waiting. Again, is a thriller, and it's very, very good, so I would highly, highly recommend this. The next book that I want to talk about is this one here. This is Another Day by David Levithan. As you guys will be able to see, the cover is very, very similar to that of Every Day, and that is because this is essentially the same book. It is just told from Rhiannon's perspective instead of A's, and I think that is a fantastic idea, and I am so thankful that David Levithan did this, because a lot of the time in books it's told from one person's point of view and you don't get to experience the other person's point. Follows Rhiannon as she gets in contact with A and just follows their friendship that they have basically, and it's so good. It's just as good as Every Day, and I was amazed at the consistency between both of the books. Like the conversations are word for word, the sequence of events that happens the exact same. It made me so impressed, and yeah, it's really, really good. So would highly, highly recommend reading Another Day. I didn't even know that he had released this until I saw it at the library and was like so confused. I was like, there's a second one. But no, it's just the same book. And the last couple of books that I wanted to talk to you about are both by the same author. So the first one is Shut Out by Kody Keplinger, and the second one is Lying Out Loud by Kody Keplinger. So they are both like high school based, like teenagery drama types, I guess. And so Shut Out is basically where all of the girls, they go on a sex strike because their boyfriends are so obsessed with sport, and there's been like a long time rivalry between, I think it's the football team and it might be the basketball team, and it's two sports. I know one of them is soccer. Basically, the girls are feeling ignored, so they go on a sex strike and just have a lot of distance between them and their boyfriends, and all the girls unite, and it's kind of like a boys versus girls kind of situation, and it's just really, really funny. And then Lying Out Loud is basically the main girl, I cannot remember her name for the life of me, but she has like this long time arch nemesis with this guy in her class because she just gets so fed up with him, and things aren't really that great at her home either, so it's kind of like those two things mixed together, and it's just not the best situation for her to be in. And every night she ends up spending it at her best friend's place. The guy that she's like enemies with has a massive thing for the main girl's best friend, and so they email like a real jokey email to him, like quite mean as well. And then the main girl ends up talking to him on her best friend's computer while she's asleep, but the whole time she's logged in on her best friend's email, so the whole time her enemy thinks that it's her best friend talking to him. Just sort of like follows the drama that goes down with that kind of thing. It's really good for the laughs, and again just a really cute story. So yeah, if you like high school dramas and you like to have a bit of a laugh, then yeah, check out Shut Out and Lying Out Loud by Kody Keplinger. And there we go guys, those are my top books of 2016. If any of these books interest you and you thought, oh yeah, that sounds like me, I kind of want to read that, then either check out your local bookstores or check out your local libraries and see if you can find them, because I'm sure that they will have them. But there were like some cartoons, some thrillers, and some just really good like romancy books. If you guys liked this video and you'd like to see more videos from me, then please give this video a massive thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you are new, then I just want to say hey and welcome to my channel, and I hope you decide to stick around and join our family here on this channel. Please check out some of my social media links that I have listed in the description box below and give me a follow on them. And if you guys have read any of these books, then feel free to leave what you guys thought of them in the comments box below, because I'm interested, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye! So freaking hot today. Unless that you write it down. The main girl's name is Violet. Yeah. Outcasted. Is that even a word? She's Fitzpatrick. Calvin. I knew it started with a C. I thought it was Colin though. Okay. Decent, isn't it? It's making a chicken. Yeah, that's right. There's a hair in my mouth. Ugh. I love making videos about books because I get really excited. Kody Keplinger. No, I was going to say the football team and the soccer team, but that's like the same thing. That I thought were the best ones. How do you do this? I cannot speak. I'm just too hot and flustered.